Hey friends, my name is Megan and welcome to episode 39 of a Naughty Mess Knitting podcast. Welcome to a crazy week of acquisitions. Okay, that's what it's going to mostly be about this week. Kind of my fault and kind of not. Something came in from a pre-order. I did do a local yarn store day on Bainbridge Island with my family, and we'll talk about that. And I connected with a local maker who I'd love to talk about. Okay, so let's get through the other stuff first. For anybody that's new, my name is Megan and I live in the Pacific Northwest, just north of Seattle, with my husband, Mike, our daughter, Theo, and my mom, Cindy, and our dog, Winter. And what do I have to say? I've been knitting and crocheting for the majority of my life, but I just started making garments in 2021. And so this is a journey to create more in my wardrobe that I am really proud of. Also, things for others. I love gift making. So always something happening for others. And I will talk about the normal stuff. Whips, FO, which this week is yarn. I also spin. And then acquisitions. So many acquisitions and books. So let's just dive right into it. It is Thursday, May 2nd. Can you believe it? Where the heck did April go? I don't know. I gotta look back on those episodes to see what happened in April because it just flew by. I really didn't finish very much in April. I feel like I just cast on a million things, and that is where I'm feeling a little needle overwhelmed right now, but we're in an okay place, other than the fact that I have 3 tests starting this week. What are you going to do? And we have a knit along. So all the great things to talk about this week. Let's go through what I'm wearing. This is one thing you've never seen before and one thing you have. So the thing you have seen first, which is the tee. This is the staple tee by Jeanette Goudreau, who is New Wave Knitting. It is a made to size pattern, so I don't have great sizing details for you. If you want more information on that, I finished this September 9th, 2023 for a test knit. I talked a lot about the testing process in those episodes before, so if you're interested, go back and watch those. But basically, there's a calculator in there where you have to gauge swatch. So if you hate gauge swatching, just use yarn in which you have gauge swatched before. Refer to another sweater. But no, you have to gauge swatch, and then you have to put in your gauge, both row and stitch gauge, and your measurements. So it's like your neck measure. This does sit rather high. You can adjust that if you want to, but your neck measurement, your bust, your arm size, which is like this line, your raglan line, your increase line. There's a video I think that tells you how to do that, and then maybe your body length, although that's really just up to you. And it gives you the raglan shaping for it. It is kind of compound raglan shaping depending on what size you're making, what yarn you're using. You may which just means you do your increases at a different pace between your sleeve and your front and back. It was a fun experience. It was the first time I've done something like that. We had a lot of calculator things to figure out, and now she's got a sweater out as well that uses the same kind of calculator, and I really love the fit of this. I like everything except for the yarn is like just okay. So what is that? I used the yarn that is just okay is the tan color. The tan color is Hobby Rainbow Sock in wool 4-ply, and it's just a tad itchy. It's not super uncomfortable and the worst. It's just because it sits way up at this part of your neck, like right at the collarbone area of your neck. I feel like it's the most sensitive, and it's just a tiny bit itchy right there. The all the stripes are Knit Pick Stroll from an old sock set that I only made 1 pair of socks actually out of the green one, and a little bit of the Sequoia. But so it's, what are the colors? Maritime or Marine Heather. The dark one is Sequoia Heather. The light one is Thirst Heather. And then this one is Dill Heather. And then I used some random pinky orange that the stripe moves down each round to a different one of the blue-green stripes. Anyway, fun thing that popped in from my brain. I love it. It's my only horizontally striped knit by me sweaters or shirts, and I definitely have been craving making more. I think I'm going to do another one maybe this summer or fall, and that will be very fun. Okay, enough about that. The second thing, the thing that you haven't seen before, is my brunch cardigan. This is a crocheted cardigan, and it is a pattern by Jess Copum, who is like the creator of Make and Do Crew, which not all of the patterns are from her, but I think this one is actually from her. And it's really fun. So I'm going, I don't have any, like zero notes, zero yarn notes in my Ravelry. So sorry about it, but I made this. I finished it June 11th, 2021. So we're almost 3 years in with this sweater. So, you know, sorry, I don't know anything about it. I was not making good notes then. What I do know is, so this is yarn from Hobby Lobby, and it's like, I don't shop at Hobby Lobby generally, but I think I had a gift card or something. And so I went to get yarn, and this is, gosh, I don't remember. It's a weird kind of tubey yarn that's sort of like blown tube, but it's not as fluffy. I'll just give you guys like a good look at it. It's a little bit strange. It's kind of like velvety feeling. But considering I wear this a lot, I have never shaved it. I've never done anything. And you can see just like very little like other lint gets caught on it sometimes. It's held up amazingly. I mean, it's acrylic. I think it's probably 100% acrylic, whatever it is, or maybe acrylic and cotton. It's pretty lightweight. It's one of my summer sweaters of choice. I have 2 cardigans that I've made from Make and Do Crew. Let me just stand up. And I'll show you the shape. This is pretty, you know, it's open. There's obviously no buttons. It's probably 48 or 49 inches across. Like, it doesn't have a ton of ease on me, maybe a little bit, but it is meant to be worn open. And then let's look at the back. You can see the back is like in the middle is where you join your hexagons. So it's just 2 hexagons that you make, you fold over, you sew under, and you, so 2 parts of the hexagon are here. One is here, and the back, I don't know. You have to like look, you have to fold the hexagon yourself and figure out how it works. Essentially, they fold into 2 L shapes that make your cardigan. And then you just pick up and knit your sort of, you know, non-button band. Your collar. I think I added, you also like add your cuffs, and you can add, like, I think I added a couple of inches after joining them too of the cuff. And then also maybe a little bit at the bottom, though it looks like this one is just, the only thing added at the bottom is maybe this like lattice panel here. And then like the little rib. So anyway, that's the brunch cardigan. It is a free pattern. It is not quite size inclusive, though it's pretty oversized. Again, you can just add a little bit, like an extra row or 2 before you join, even to give yourself room, but you can't try on as you go. So, but it is free on her blog. So you know how I feel about those patterns. And I made this so long ago. I have not made another cardigan, like crochet cardigan or really crochet garment since then. I'm not opposed to it. I tend to like the look of knit garments better. They come back in every couple of years, right? So I just love the idea of making a granny square garment, a cardigan, a little top. I love Tana Slavely's like granny square front into a knit sweater. That's maybe the best of both worlds and something I would really actually like to wear. The thing is, I just don't, I like lose steam on cardigan things or on crochet things, which, and cardigan things too, but on crochet things, you know, which we're not going to talk about the flower vortex blanket today. So there's that great segue for us. Now let's talk about whips. That's the one we're going to leave off today because I did not even touch it. I left it actually in my office and did 0 things. I didn't make any other flowers. I didn't add anything. I just, I didn't feel like it. What are you going to do? You got to go with your hearts on these things. So I also am not going to talk about the Haley sweater. That's still in timeout. What I'm really hoping is, you know, I have these test knits. One of them is a tank top. One of them is a full sweater. The full sweater is going to get cast on today. Yeah, today. So I can be working on the back panel this weekend. I will finish something. Then I'll also cast on tomorrow for our knit along. And then I will pull Haley back out probably the end of next week. So maybe not for next week's episode, but the week after, just to get, I mean, I'm actually going to put sleeves on, I think, next, and I'm going to just smash through those and feel a lot better about putting it back down for another week or two. Okay, so let's talk about the wood anemone. This is actually the knit that also got the most attention this week, which is not the knit that has a deadline. So this is not the knit I should have been working on, but I wanted to. And again, you got to go with your heart on these things. I'm not past deadline for anything. So it's all good. This is the wood anemone by Nordland. It is a top-down lace yoke pullover. And she has a bunch of other wood anemone, a bunch. I think she has 2 other patterns, maybe. One is like a little capelet thing. I don't actually know if that's in this pattern. Anyway, there's a t-shirt for sure of this. You can see my lace, it needs to be blocked really badly, and then it'll bloom and be beautiful, and it'll be like the most glorious thing ever. It does go pretty low, so like I think I would wear a tank top with this, just probably, though it's not super holy. I mean, there's holes around this part, but like I don't know that, like, it's fluffy. I don't know that you would really notice it that much. But I was progress keeper. Here last week, I had done a bunch of the body. I did a couple more inches, and then I ran out of my mohair that I was working with, and I said, you know, I'm going to be maybe a little bit short on mohair for this, so I'm going to do sleeves first. These sleeves are going to be bracelet length. They're not going to be as long as I tend to like, but I just knit to pattern, and then I tried it on, and I was like, they're gonna grow a little bit, and I can stretch them just a tiny bit for this. Also, this will bloom, so it's not giving me a true fit right now, but I really want to have a little bit more than cropped length. Like, I think I'm at 8.5 inches now. I need to be at like 9.25 before I start ribbing, and I have like not a lot of Surrey left. So, which I knew I was going to be close. I wanted to use it all up. It's probably gonna be a little bit stressful, but what are you going to do? So I made just knit to pattern, and this might just be a little bit cropped, which is not a bad thing. I tend to not make things cropped, but I always wear high-waisted jeans or whatever anyway. So it's just like, that's what I know I have to wear this with. Not a bad thing. So this is the front. Anyway, I really love it. I love it. Sleeves done. Great progress. Almost done this. Hopefully very, very soon. And the sizing on that is a size 5, 48.5 inches. Recommended ease is 2 to 6 inches positive. Use a 3mm needle for the ribbing, all the ribbing, and a 3.5 for the lace and a 4 for the body. And that has been perfect for gauge for me. And I am using Backloop Yarn Co. Both of the Surrey and the Cashmere sock in the colorway Ghouls. That's now gone from her website. Erin did some revamping. She did rebranding. If anybody follows her on Instagram, she's got a new logo, which is really cute. And then she has taken down like all her old colors. She just kind of had everything up for a long time. So she still has up some of her summer colors, and then her Disenchantment collection is coming back, and I think that's going to be all available June 8th, and including fiber, I think, maybe, but she's definitely gonna have them on all her regular bases. Okay, that's all, just news for you. So let's talk about the next one, which we're still going in cast on order here. So okay, so the next is my test knit for Wool and Pine. Oh, I forgot to talk about my yarn. We'll go out of order, and I'll talk about spinning at the end like I normally do. So I did so many sleeves. I did 3 sleeves again this week, which I feel like is a lot, especially because this sleeve Took me so long. Okay, this is the Scotchbroom Wrap by Abbye Selena at Wool and Pine Design. It is in testing. It is due May 17th. It is May 2nd, so I have 2 weeks to finish this. I will be fine, but I do need to get moving. Just a little bit. Like, honestly, I really am fine. I have to do the other sleeve this week, absolutely. And I just need to finish the body. I think I would like to start the waistband by next week, though I may not be done with it because I'm telling you, this sleeve took a lot out of me. It's gorgeous. It's really pretty on. I tried it on. It fits really nice. It will bloom a little bit, like it will grow a little bit just because of the lace will relax. But the point is more like volume width-wise than length-wise. It is kind of like a bishop sleeve, right? So you don't do any decreases until the very end, and then you rapid decrease for at the cuff. So there's only 8.5 repeats. It's an 8-row repeat. It's really 4 rows. The lace is 4 rows, but you off center them, so it's 8. It's this elongated lace stitch. I know I don't love it. I love the outcome, but I did that in the Copperton shawl too, which was a sample I did last year. And like, you have to wrap 3 times and then drop it the next row. And it's really, the wrap row doesn't take as long as the drop row. Dropping it, then gathering and knitting together. Like, it literally takes me like 30 minutes to do those 2 rows almost. And it's not even that long. I mean, that's not that long to talk about. Like, okay, so you do it 17 times. But that's so many hours on a sleeve. And I get sleeves just take long, but I think sleeves to me tend to be more mindless usually because you feel you're making more progress because they're a smaller circumference in the body. And this is knit flat, so like the body is also taking forever, but like, man, I gotta tell you, it was a lot. It was a feat for me to get that done this week. And then so I had a ball of yarn attached and I am at the end of it. And so I had the ball of yarn attached. Once I finished the sleeve, I was like, I'm not gonna have enough in that ball of yarn to do the other sleeve. And I was already attached to the body. So I just did several body rows last night. And I'm actually done increases per pattern. It's not quite the length I want it to be. I tried it on and my row gauge is a little bit tighter than theirs. So I am going to add, and I already slowed down my increases, but I'm not going to have a crossover issue because I'm like right now at pattern. I think, so if I had like 16 rows, which is about what I'm thinking, I would add 8 stitches overall, which 8 stitches in this pattern is like this much. Like it's not a lot. I'm not really worried about that. It's probably what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'll need all 16, but I'm going to do a good amount and then see. So don't want to run out of yarn because I'm not going to get more of this. And I need to finish the waistband. I don't want like a contrasting waistband. So I think what I'll do is I'll do the sleeve first, then I'll do some more. And also the sleeve definitely pulls the shoulder down a little bit, which helps to like understand overall fit. So I think I'll do the sleeve and then I'll figure out approximately how many inches I think I need, which I think the waistband's like 1.5 inches or 2. So I think I only need like another 1.5 inches. It is supposed to be cropped and it will be cropped on me. It's just like, I have a longer torso. This is not even hitting anywhere near my natural waist right now. Like it's a good 3 or 4 inches above it. So, it feels very just under my bust at this point still, but it's cute. It's really cute. I put most of this on a barber cord last night and I did try it on and I really love it. The color is fantastic. Like it's really, really nice. So, this is, size 5, 46 inches. Recommended ease is 0 to 4 positive inches. It is on 4mm needles. That's the only size I've used so far. And I think the ribbing or the button, the waistband, that's what it's called for this, maybe one size smaller, like a 3.5. But anyway, this is Thistle House Yarns fingering in 10 Fathom C. It is 100% 19.5 micron superwash merino, 3-ply, 438 yards for 100 grams. It's an S-on-S twist yarn, but it's looking really uniform and nice. And in the knitting. So I'm enjoying it. I think it's like super squishy and really, really stretchy. I just think even with the stretch, like I'm not gonna be able to continue to stretch it like further down, right? Like it's gonna give me good stretch this way. I just want to make sure that it's long enough. So there's that one. Okay, I think the only other one we have to talk about again is the Sundial. Yeah, so the Sundial top, and this is the only one I think I didn't put a progress keeper on. I don't think I did. And I didn't honestly knit super like a lot on this. Like I did a couple hours maybe. So I think I was, gosh, let me look. Yeah, I think I was about here last time, which was, this is the back, so it looks pretty long because it does have a lot of short row shaping. So it was about at this increase, which I've done like 1.5 other increases. No. Yeah, 1.5 other increases. So, and I think I'm on the last increase. Like I do this one more increase, one more set of 9 rows, and then like you do like an off-centered increase for like if I need a couple extra stitches. What I actually think I decided reading through the pattern is my size does have an extra increase row where I think you're doing 1 increase stitch at less frequently instead of the 2 on each column. What I'm going to change is over the sleeve sections, like however many, I'll just mark them out, how many stitches I would be taking off for sleeve. I will do a double increase on those because the sleeve as written is a little bit small for me. Not super small. It is supposed to be fitted, so it's not gonna have a new flare anyway, but I just don't want it to, I don't want to feel like my arm is getting pinched. So that's what I decided to do because that's already written into the pattern to give a little more, you know, a couple extra increases. I won't need any over bust or back. I just need them over my sleeve. So that's the plan. And I'm really hoping to get the yoke done next week. This is not, it's like mostly mindless knitting. And so it's a great thing for me to take like for whatever. We're doing a knit night, as in a knit day on Saturday morning. And so maybe I'll bring this because I don't have to think very hard. But who knows what else I'll be knitting on. Honestly, I will have cast on I'm going to cast on time my stripy turtle tank, which I decided is the first cast on of my Emily Curtis patterns for our knit along, which I'll still talk about in a second. And so I think I'm going to maybe bring that because I love, again, stripes. I want a striped thing. So I'll have a striped tank top, but I think I want a striped like long sleeve or t-shirt, another one. Okay, the size on that. So that's the Sundial top by Iris Makes, Iris H, who you can find a link below if you'd like a discount on any of her patterns through my link. That's on her website. As a reminder, if you'd rather buy on Ravelry, you can still purchase through her website using my discount code and then just leave a note of your Ravelry username and she'll pop it in there for you. This is a size 5. It's a 44-inch bust. It is a recommended ease of 0 to -3. So I'm at the -3 range for that. I'm using 3mm needles for the body, 2.5mm for the collar, which I did. And then that is Cashmere Caverns by Explore Knits and Fibers in the colorway Grapefruit, which is from the summer market last year. It's 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, 435 yards for 100 grams. And it's a joy to work with. It's so soft and nice. So I'm excited to have that t-shirt. It'll be a really nice, bright addition to my t-shirt. I don't have very many t-shirts. My slim pickings for the t-shirt wardrobe. So, okay. Let's get on to spinning. And I will show you my also FO for the week, or, you know, finished thing. It's 90% dry, so it's not quite dry, so I'm not going to manipulate it too much for you guys, but this is that green that I brought down the bobbins for last week, so you could see it. Here is a little view of it. It's pretty. It's super pretty. I did a traditional 3-ply again. Sorry, just the morning. I really like it. This looks more even to me, and this does feel like a DK weight. Like, I think it's a DK weight. It could even be a worsted almost. I gotta say, it goes a lot faster to spin at this weight. I'm going to try a 2-ply, trying to channel this same weight again to see if I can get like a heavy sport, a light DK. That's going to be the next, whatever next I do. But I am thinking I want to do a 3-ply for a garment spin. So I might need to find, I'm going to need to do like a wrap per inch, which I have a tool for, to just see what this weight is and see like to adjust. And then I can also honestly make something with whatever comes out. I can adjust gauge and whatever and make whatever I want, because this is my craft. And that is the great thing about knitting, is that there's a lot of adjustments. Once you know what you're doing, the possibilities are limitless. So, and even if you don't know what you're doing, you can dream up and just, you know, make it happen. Someone out there on the internet can help you. Okay, here you go. Here's a little skeiny poo of it. It's really nice. I like this just is pretty evenly green throughout. There's not like tons. There's a little bit of like some dark patches and a couple of like lighter bits, but it's pretty even. So I think this would knit up really nice. I had a little bit left of two of the skeins, but like just a tiny bit on one and more on my third one, because I definitely was doing that a little bit thinner. So I did a chain ply because I have not chain plied in a while, and I wanted to just remember the motion. It's not a very good chain ply, also because of the way that I was doing it. It was not on a bobbin. It was in a because I did them together. Anyway, it was in a little wound ball, and it was not weighty enough, so it was just like flying all around the place. It was pretty hilarious last night. It only took me a couple minutes to do this, thankfully. This is 100% dry. Yeah, so this is not a great chain ply, but you can see some of it. Like, this is pretty good. You know, it looks pretty similar to the traditional 3-ply. I do think chain plying is fun, but a traditional 3-ply is what's nice about it for me is like, even in a 4-ounce braid, it breaks up your braid so that you feel like accomplished getting 3 bobbins done. And if you don't have bobbins available, I think a chain ply is amazing for that, right? But I do think that you don't have to think as much while you're plying. Whereas like chain plying, you have to use both hands. I mean, it's a rhythm, and once you get into it, it's really not terrible. But I maybe like this more. Then you have to worry also about like, if it's a thicker yarn, getting any kind of like weird bump at the chain point. And this went so fast to ply it this way, like just super fast. So I'm gonna unwind and hang it here so it can keep drying. Okay, acquisitions. Maybe you'll know what I got in the mail. I got my monochrome order. So I'll show you this in a second because I'll pop up for it. But I did not order a lot. I don't think we really talked about what I was going to order because I like it to be a surprise for you. So I got Freezy Pop, which is the brighter of the two bright teals. Spindrift is the other. Spindrift is also a, you know, light color. It's actually it's like less blue than the Lagoon color, but it's definitely a softer of this. I got Denali sock, and I got one of the 50-gram skeins because for the project that I would like to potentially do with this, I don't need 3 full ones. I need 2.5. And also because like it's so cute, and I just wanted to get one of them. So this was a good project to get it for. I'll share project plans later. I just we have a lot of things to cover here, so I don't want to get really into that, but it's going to be a t-shirt. And then this one, this is planning to be a tank top actually. And this is Carlsbad worsted. Yes. Is that a little bit crazy to have a wool tank top? No, though, it's not. I'm telling you, not for here, not for this climate. I am planning to make a tank top from Sari Nordland's Softly Timeless Knits book, which is the one that has like, don't ask me the name of these things, Ashalos or something like that. And this is the colorway Ave Noir. It is a really dark purple gray black. It is kind of like a sister color to Squim. Here's Squim. Like, wouldn't that be really pretty as like a monochrome knit? Yeah, it would. You're right. But I'm not going to do that because that already has a project. Yeah, no, I'm really excited for this. I think this will be something that I like will really want to wear. Okay. That's all I got from monochrome, actually. I did not get a lot. I got 2 specific projects I wanted. There's so many colors. I could have gone crazy and gotten a ton of like for color work and for whatever, because they just had, it was like the best tonals, but I have a lot of yarn and I wanted the opportunity to shop at other things live this year, which I already know I have plans for, like Flock. So you know what? That's what I got. But I really wanted this. Okay, yes, you're right. I have a white dog. I should not be buying black sweatshirts. It's going to be covered in Winter's hair. It doesn't matter. It's so cute. Explorer Knits and Fibers, National Park, established 2018. It's so cute. Okay. I love it. That's all. I will take it off now. It is nice and cozy though. And I'll definitely be wearing it a ton. And my office is a tiny bit cold, but this holy sweater is doing me. It's perfect. Okay, let's go on to what I got next. So last weekend, Mike and I took Theo over to Bainbridge Island for her very first ferry ride and to celebrate La Mercerie's local to celebrate La Mercerie during local yarn store day, which was also their sort of like grand reopening. They had a bunch of pop-ups, etc. for moving. So they're in now the old church mouse space. It's gorgeous. Like I love a yarn shop period. Like it could be crazy and chaos. That'd probably give me anxiety actually. But like, you know, I get joy walking down Joann yarn aisles, but this place is another level. There like any local yarn store I've been to has had like a lot of good variety, and like usually it's yarn, it's pleasing to look at on the walls and the organization, whatever. Jess is kind of magical. She gets like these old pieces of furniture that also have storage. The space feels really open. She's using like walls appropriately. This place kind of has like a couple of nooks sort of. So the way that like the yarn is on the walls, she has this great, which I'm sure you've seen on Instagram, pegboard of Knitting for Olive, because Knitting for Olive, all of them come in these little donuts. It's so pretty. Like walking in there was just like, it's like if Pinterest could make you the most beautiful yarn store ever, like out of all the things, that's what Jess did. It's like, it's so pretty. It's really nice. The space feels airy. It's really light, but it's covered in kind of a little like one shop off the street. Anyway, I had a great time. It was my first time going over since they moved, which was just last month. Anyway, just a few weeks before that. And Mike has not been over to see La Mercerie before. Not that he cares at all. Theo also does not care, but it was her first ferry ride. It was a weird ferry ride. We were in the middle of the sound. There's been a lot of orca activity, also sailboats and other things, because it's getting to be nice weather. And I've never been on a ferry that stopped before, but we just stopped in the middle of the sound. Like literally halfway through our trip, we just stopped, engines off, and I was like, what's happening here? We were just letting something go. They actually put the front engine on for a minute to like move us back from whatever. So I don't know what was happening. We didn't see any activity. We didn't see any orcas or anything. But you know, I'm sure they had some sort of radar or Coast Guard or someone telling them to do whatever they were doing. We got there fine. The store was pretty busy, but Reshma and Mike from Hello Lavender, her husband Mike, were both there, flew in from Chicago, and they're just like the most lovely people ever. So I did want to buy something from Hello Lavender. I also got my Hello Lavender order in from her her in-stock update from the other month. Maybe that was in the end of March. And so that's another thing I'll share. yeah, and then Sylvan was working and she and I chatted through some things, and I thought of a really great project because Jess has some really great fiber in the store, and I've been dreaming of this thing, and then Reshma and I were talking about something she was making, also spinning her fiber, and it got the wheels turning, and so I have a project planned. That's what I have to tell you about that. Anyway, it was really lovely to go over there. It was really, yeah, and just to celebrate Jess on her big accomplishment. I mean, it's like so cool. Oh, crud. Okay, so I got earrings. They're upstairs, and I'm not gonna get them right now, but I probably won't finish filming until like it's 8:30. I have to start my workday very soon, and so I will likely finish this section, do work, and then during lunch I can grab my earrings and I can show you as I do my wrap up. You love a segmented episode, don't you? Okay, so what I got in my pre-order or the in-stock update was, she doesn't put the name of them, but this one's like called something like desert something. Here, sorry, you can see all the little guys. I told Reshma this is like, I want a collection of just the little ones because I love the feature pieces, obviously. Come on. Will you focus? I don't know why it wants to focus on my, like, on my hand. There we go. Okay, well, you got it for a second. Anyway, it's a moon. I got this because these are colors I absolutely love, but I don't wear. So, like, this would be a fun thing to add onto a project. And then I got a pair of earrings, which actually would be great on this with this outfit. So maybe I'll put them on for work too. Okay, and then I got one. Okay, I'm gonna go with this one first. I got something there. She had a couple of like just extra stuff there as well, which she, by the way, is doing pre-order of these, or she's doing like an in-stock update of all the things that were at Seattle that didn't sell. So if you'd like any of them, I think it's today. So go grab them, which that would have been tomorrow. So hopefully she still has some left for you. This is just news at this point. Old news. But this is from Spain. And this is her paella. And it's the most incredible little dude that you ever saw. Like, there's a tiny shrimp. I really wish this would focus because, okay, look at those grains of rice. She's crazy. We talked about how she was crazy. I chatted with her for a while. So, and the little flecked ones are cute too, but like this paella. So Mike and I got married in the middle of nowhere, Oregon, at a person's house who had teepees. But it's gorgeous. And it was out in the middle of the woods, and we had everybody stay over, and most people stayed in teepees except for the older people who stayed like in the guest houses. There was brick oven pizza and then paella. Those were his two specialties that he made. And he had like the big paella dish. So that's what our wedding dinner was, actually, paella. So it's got a special place in my heart. Also, I had paella the first time I was in Spain, and I, yeah, really loved it. It was like, I was like, wow, what is this? I want to have this all the time. So I just thought it was so special. Plus, she makes this by hand. And like, that is so mind-blowing. She was talking to me about, I can't believe I made all these little shrimp. And I was like, I can't believe you made rice. Like, the rice is minuscule compared to the shrimp, and they're placed perfectly. So I got that finally. I had been thinking about it during the Spain order, but I didn't get anything. And then in the in stock, I really just wanted this one, and I just wasn't thinking about it. So, you know, it was there, and it was meant to be. It was meant to be mine. The other one I got was one of the Seattle ones. And you guys, it was a really hard pick. So there was like a Bainbridge one that had like the Olympic mountain range, and it was like really pinky and super pretty. Would have gone perfectly with the Bainbridge Island yarn. Like very similar colors from Explore Knits and Fibers. There was an umbrella, which I love. The umbrella was like teal. It's like the perfect colors. People in Seattle, which Reshma said this, like, people in Seattle don't use umbrellas. I don't even know if we have. My Mike owns an umbrella for golfing. That's the only time an umbrella is used. Then there was coffee and a croissant. And the croissant was also so cute. And I love me a croissant. But the coffee cup is this very light baby teal. I'll give you a side view of it. And I am obsessed with it. I also make lattes at home. We do This Is Our Life, as coffee is life. So I did coffee. I really also love these little itty bitty stitch markers they're not even itty bitty. They're like appropriately sized for this. But these like moody bronzy gold, I really enjoy too. So those are my 3 new sets of stitch markers. I'm not going to buy any more stitch marker or progress keepers or stitch markers until I am at Flock, which I will definitely get like the Flock one for this year. But I do use them on my projects for progress keeping, and now I have like really nice ones for all of the projects, which I will start replacing this week. And also those little ones, because I do like things on sleeves. I always use the light bulb ones, but maybe at like a certain, you know, at 10, I'll use a fun one. And so I will use those little ones. They're just like so cute. They give me joy in my making. So whenever I need an extra dose of joy, I'm just going to add them in. Okay. And then the project we planned. What did we plan? Well, you know, you already know that Sylvan is my yarny godmother. She came through on this. She didn't give me any yarn in this case, but she did help me pick out this whole thing. So I was looking at fiber, and there was a bunch of braids that were special that Jess had out. And there were some bags of hedgehog that I really enjoyed, but almost every hedgehog bag except for like the big mauve one had like yellow in them, which it's not like I'm never going to spin with yellow, but I have quite a few already that have yellow in them, and that's just not a color that I gravitate towards wearing. So I wanted to get something for a garment spin and a partial garment spin. So I still want to do a t-shirt, but Reshma reminded me that you can just put your special yarn inside of a project also, which obviously I know this, but I want to do that also. So this I got. This is untreated Cormo from Bramble Ridge. It is, which they're a fiber dyer out of BC. It is very soft. It's going to be super bouncy. I actually have not spun with Cormo, so that's one of the reasons I wanted to try it. I love this palette so much. It's like a really soft, sorry, my light is like flickering. We're going to be a little bit yellower now. Sorry. It's a really soft, cool neutrals. So yeah, there is this purpley color that pulls a little bit like tannish, but it's going to be gorgeous, like absolutely gorgeous. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of really, I guess I could do whatever I wanted, but just looking at the braid, it doesn't look like there's going to be a ton of like hard color lines in this, which I'm okay with for the project. So I have 3 braids of this, and then I got a couple of skeins of this to go with it. And this is what I really wanted to get from Jess. It's going to be something she has in store on occasion. Like she'll get special for special things. And this is from Sonder Yarn Co. And it is their Sunday morning DK. It's a 75% BFL, 25% Masham yarn. It's non-superwash. It's 268 yards for 100 grams. And it is a 2-ply. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to get it, is because it's a 2-ply that like looks like something I could spin similarly, so that I would have a similar feeling yarn for this. And I got a in the same color family, but much darker, to make sure that there was true contrast between these. So I can make a pressed flowers pullover. That is what I want to make. I love Ariel's cardigan. I'm more likely to wear a pullover. I mean, I've got a lot of cardigans that I'm planning and going to make, but I like all of my cardigans right now are going to be purple. Like I do have this one. I have a pink crocheted one, but my swim one is purple. My calm down that I just made is like a brighter purple pink. I have a lot of purple in the Leith one. So pullover. Maybe I just love purple for cardigans. Who knows? Okay, I'm really excited. This was like kind of a big purchase for a project, but something that I think would be really fun. And I've never worked with this, and I've heard really good things about this base. That has a lot of like bounce. It's super soft for being, and blooms really gorgeously, but soft for being like a non-superwash. Which there's a lot of soft non-superwashes, let's be real. This is not like a new thing, but that's a new blend to me and something I'm interested in trying. that's what I got at Law Mercery. So I will bring down earrings later in a minute. Well, it'll be a minute for you, but I have one more thing to talk about in acquisitions, and this one is special. So let me pull all the things out. Okay. So this little segment is really special because this is not an affiliate program, really. This is actually just something that was like really nice. So I bought that pirouette, which is like the little yarn butler or the yarn carousel Lazy Susan, from Needles and Hooks, which is a local yarn store to me here in Washington. It's in Lake Forest Park. It's just a couple minutes from my house. The other week when I went in to get a needle, I told you the story. I showed you the thing. I've got a project on it kind of all the time. It's really great for managing your yarn if you're an outside ball puller, which I always am if I can help it. I had somebody, Valerie, who watches the podcast, and Valerie and I were in like a test knit together, I think last year, the end of last year, and she messaged me and she just said like, hey, I didn't catch the name of who made your little pirouette, can you send it to me? And it was just an email on the bottom, and I didn't even know if she had an Etsy shop, because someone told me this was like, she's a new business that just was only at that yarn store for right now. She does have an Etsy shop. Her name is Carrie. It is CanBeeCrafty is the Etsy shop. I'll link it below. And when Valerie got in contact with her, she sent her the Etsy link and had just put up her pirouettes actually. And Valerie let her know that I was the one that shared. Well, Carrie lives down the street from me. So she messaged me. She was like, hey, I've never worked with an influencer before. And I laughed really hard because I said, I am not an influencer, but I do talk to lovely people every week, and I would be happy to share about your new business. So she gifted me some stuff, but then otherwise it's just a code to her. I don't get any kickbacks from this code or anything, but it would be like, you know, she's a small business, woman owned, and has a wood laser in her garage, right, where she's just making all this stuff by hand. She has some really good ideas and some really nice things that she's making. New things coming out. So if you guys have any really great tools that you wish were being made in these kind of like laser cut wood things, let me know. I'll pass it along. But one of the things she gave me, I'll just go through the stuff that she gifted me, was these little hand knit cards or hand crochet cards. There's just a few in each of these packs, and it's just kind of like care instructions plus a little note. So you can gift anybody. This is actually something I'm going to put with baby blankets that I, you know, until I run out of them, which is really great because normally I write a hand card, but then I have to put care instructions in it. And this would be good to just like, then they can just keep that part of it. Okay. The big thing I got from her was her pas de deux, which is her double pirouette. There was only one of them. It was just the prototype actually inside of Needles and Hooks. So I couldn't have bought it when I saw it. But the double, I was like, wow, I'm so intrigued. I am going to do a project on this. The first one I'm actually going to do is my Market Henley, because I will be using helical knitting for that. And that is sometimes annoying to do your yarn management. So you actually load your guys on just like normal. These are just like, I have little, she gave me little bands to have these as just more on the go ones if I wanted as well, which is nice because now I have two for the car. If you haven't seen people put them like in the car, you can do 2 yarns in the car by just like putting them in your glove box with the little band, and then you know, they'll spin freely, but then you load them through this little like eye guy. I mean, this is really for at home. Like, I'm not going to take this with me, but you load them through here, which there's a flat, sorry, this is a front, because there's a B, and you pull them through here. So they do come out at the same tension. You're not getting them like wound in a weird way outside, which is so fun. I have been using mine all the time. I didn't know if I would like it. Like, I bought it. It was like a fun gift, little gifty for me just when I was in the store. But these ones, that one has bees on it. This one has these little sheepy, which are so cute. And yeah, I'm just really excited to try this out. I just met with her yesterday, so I've not tried. I just wanted to keep all this stuff in my office. But it's so great. Like, I think this will be really nice for yarn management. I often find my balls of yarn. I don't use a yarn bowl. I don't have one, but I often find yarn falling out of the bag that I was in when I yank hard and falling on the dog, which, you know, the dog doesn't care very much, but it disrupts her sleep. So this is for the dog. Okay. She gave me a ton of stuff. So let me just talk through a couple of the other things. So I have 2 needle or hook size finders, which is really, it's very useful. These are so useful, especially because some of my hooks really don't have sizes on them or they've worn off. And so these are cool because you can slide them in for this one. And this one's big enough that you can slide up for hooks too. So they're just, that's really all they're for, but she will personalize things too. So you can see my name is right there at the top. That's nice. And, okay, what's next? I got 2 of these. So these are row counters. I also was chatting with her about an updated or upgraded row counter that's like attached to, you know, as a on your yarn row counter. But this one you can just use, you move these little gears and then you can change your number that you're on. But an improvement on that even is that she has this one also that says, I make beautiful things with yarn, which is really nice. But on the front, you get a little basket of yarn. And this one has it says at the top row. So you can change your rows, you know, here. And then on the bottom, it says repeat, this is so useful. So I actually have an app on my phone that does this, but I don't always want to have my phone open or if my phone is dying, which it usually is, and I'm out somewhere, I can just have this, which is really nice. So you flip, you know, you just flip your repeat, and it's like a good way, especially like sometimes I just need it because I want to know how many I have to do. So you can set and count down, you can count up, you can do all the different things. So this is really cool. And then she gave me these, which are needle and hook tags. And they tell you the US size and the millimeters, which is very useful because I only really think about things in millimeters, but it's nice to know what the size is. And this is really useful. So here's how I would use them, which I'm going to do later today because I need one of my needles for something, is you take this little guy off. This is the 4.5 millimeter. This is not the one I would necessarily use. And for interchangeable needles, you can actually just hook this onto the bottom, like to the little eyes of your interchangeable thing, take your needles off, and then it reminds you what size was supposed to be on there. So you will not forget. If you're crocheting and you take your hook out, you just loop this on your last hook. It won't unravel then. That's cool. But also will tell you what freaking size hook you are supposed to be using. That's so useful because I often take my crochet hook for something else and then I have absolutely no idea. I never write it down early enough in the process. So that's what these little dudes are for. And this is a whole set. So you just have a set. Okay. She gave me some very cute little like stitch markers, progress keepers, but this side, I have to tell you, I like raved about this to her while I was there. I was like, oh, this is a great idea. And this is what we were talking about as our idea to use in tandem with a row counter, is these genius little, these again are also really cute sheep, but they are reminders of what you have to do. So if I was using my row counter, I could use something like this, make one left, or even just tag it on a side, especially like for shawls and stuff when you can't remember what side you're supposed to be doing what. You can just put this little guy on the side. So if it's not just an increase, right? It's make one left or make one right. SSK, yarn over, knit through the front and back loop and knit 2 together. I'm sure I could ask her for different ones if you wanted specific things, but this is a really great little minder. So if you are also like on row 1, maybe I start with whatever kind of increase, you could just hook it there. Again, if you're on, or if it's like on row 7, you knit in the front and back for whatever things, you could just put the knit front and back so you remember what kind of increase you do or what is the thing or which row it's on, so that when you hit that in the repeat, you can just, you just have to look at your pattern. It's just a helper. It's just a little helper. Anyway, super great. Very excited about that. And that's all the stuff that I got from Carrie. She's really nice. If you'd like to support her for the month of May, you can get 25% off using the coupon code below, which is really just a naughty mess, on her Etsy website. So, or at her Etsy site, which I will link also. So, she's got other stuff on there for sure, but those are the cool things. And 25% off is a great discount for that. So I'm just throwing it out there. If you'd like more fun things, who doesn't want more fun things? There you go. I'm giving you a discount. Okay, on to books. Okay, I am back post working for lunchtime. Okay, I have my earrings here that I wanted to show you. So the first one I got in the in-stock update was the Balearic Sea leftovers. And the second one I got was the Moody palette for monochrome that she had some leftovers for. I don't typically wear silver. I'm like more drawn to gold, but I am a cool palette person, so I should probably be wearing silver more often. You know, you do what you want. I really love these though. Like, they're incredible. I can't believe she makes that. It's totally insane to me that she makes these with her hands. And this too, like this just looks like a really beautiful, you know, stone. I tend to wear non-dangly more often, but I will wear both of these plenty. No, it is not knitting related, which is why I took them upstairs, but I mean, it's a fun thing to share. So those are my earrings. Okay, let's talk about books. So I read a ton of books this week. It's mostly because Mike and I were watching Deadwood, and we finished the series and the movie at the end of last week. And so we haven't really picked up another real show. We've been watching Frasier. But it's getting nice out. Mike started golf league, and so he has been doing a lot more time practicing on the simulator. So I've been sitting upstairs when baby goes to bed and reading, and it's been so enjoyable. And I do prefer to read over watching like Netflix. Like I don't watch very much TV at all. I don't know, partly because I don't have to look up then. I don't know. I love books. So that's me. Okay. So the first thing I finished was A Study in Drowning, which I talked about very little bit last week. It is a book by Ava Reid. It's a standalone YA novel. It is fairy adjacent, romantic-y-ish. It's about two college-age kids who get wrapped up in the estate of a dead author who's like the greatest author in the land of the land that they live in. It's a totally different world. It's interesting that she did all of this for just like a single book. There's, you know, some holes in understanding the world building. It's not, they're just like little parts thrown in about parts of it. Like, I think there was more to explore there. I liked it. I didn't really, really love it. I thought it was okay. There were parts of it I thought were really intriguing. The story itself was pretty interesting. The narrator's kind of unreliable. Yeah, so I mean, it was fine. It was enjoyable. I'm not like mad I read it, but I wouldn't give it like 5 stars. So that's what I have to say about that. Okay, Lauren. Okay, so the second thing I read was, because after I finished that over the weekend, I really wanted like a quick, like mostly smutty, quick book. And I was just looking at things that were available from the library, like on Libby, just you can look at available audiobooks and by genre. And I looked in romance, and this book popped up, and I was like, wait a second. I didn't realize like there was a whole sub-series already pretty much done. I think they're all done, or they're mostly done. So this is a book by Ruby Dixon. If you don't know who Ruby Dixon is, strap in here. This is the person who created the Ice Planet Barbarians. If you don't know what this series is, I told you this like way, way long ago that I am in a Discord that is for, it's like a book club Discord. There is a book that they usually publish, or they usually push every month, that you can do a call then, and it's like a Discord voice call that people join. There's just a chat channel too, and the books are generally like relatively smutty romance books. Like that's what the book club is. But there's all these channels for different things that you could be interested in. So people are like more period romance people. Sometimes they're more just, they only like modern romance, or that's what they're looking for at the time. You can look for recommendations, etc. Well, there's one that's called the Monster, and that channel is like for this. So I have read a couple of things from the channel, but there's this like really funny post that was just like, if you need to read about alien romance, you have to read these books. And I was like, why does anyone need to read about alien romance? But also I kind of want to, so I totally did. I've read 2 alien romance series, one that not Ruby Dixon, and then this Ruby Dixon one. The other one is called The Clickanians, and I actually really love that. I think the world building is really great and interesting for that. But this one is like purely many different types of females, but like mostly just like alpha male meets woman and it becomes a mate. So it is about humans from various different backgrounds getting stranded on an ice planet where there is very little no technology really, and there are these barbarians, and the atmosphere is semi-conducive for humans, but they have to have a parasite implanted in them that helps them with the cold, and like it helps them tolerate the conditions of the planet, but it also makes them resonate to someone else so that they make babies. So you can take that and imagine what's going to happen. I think there's like 16 in the first series, and I read all of them last year. They are just like so fun and so fluffy. And you get, I love series like, and this, because this world is so small, like everybody is featured in everyone else's stories, and some of them have overlapping timelines and other things like that. And so you just get to like, you hear a snippet and then you get to like see those characters again. And I always love that. It's like watching a television show where like every episode is like based on a different couple. It's essentially what this is. So the first one, okay, so there's the whole Ice Planet Barbarians series, and then there is also this sub-series, which I didn't even realize was like written, and that is called the Icehome. So it's like this secondary set of humans that get that come to the planet. So the first one is called Lauren's Barbarian, and I read that one, and then I also read the second and third one this week. And the second one's called Veronica's Dragon, and then the third one is called Willa's Beast. And this is partly because there are other beings than just the Sakui who live on the planet who got dropped in this last drop of humans. It is just so fun, so fluffy, fairly smutty, and like a little bit about like survivalism and kind of coming in everybody has some sort of like past trauma they're trying to figure out, or just like how do they survive on this very harsh landscape. It's not deep, they're not like super moving, but I do kind of like really love all of them. I didn't really love Willa's Beast only because I felt like I already knew, like because of the overlapping timelines, I knew a lot about what was going to happen in this one, because where you see the characters, and I just felt like I was waiting, like I was just kind of waiting for the thing and for more to happen after. And the Willa, who's the main character in this one, is like a little bit one-notey. Like she had abusive parents. There was not a lot of good digging into what that was, just like until kind of the end. Then she explains a little bit more that it made more sense. It was fine. So, but overall, they are the best like little fluff to just read in your week. Okay, I finished The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Yes, congratulations, I did it. Hooray. This is the first in the Crowns of Nyaxia book by Carissa Broadbent. I am eyeball reading this, which is why it's taking me so long. I did read eyeballs while knitting a little bit this week, and that helped dramatically improve my reading rate. I have the second one downloaded on my Kindle, but I have not yet read it. I feel very strongly that this was a great twist at the end. I kind of knew something sketchy like was going on with the characters. Like the whole point of this is that they don't trust each other and they're secret keeping. It's a sign, sort of like enemies to lovers first premise. The world is bigger than that, though. There's a lot of things because they're in sort of like a Hunger Games-esque, but like maybe maybe the same as Hunger Games, only like one should survive kind of deal. You know something bad is going to happen, and you know that they're isolated from what else is happening. Like you're aware of that during this thing. So when the bad things explode, you are not surprised, but you are surprised because you don't know what was going on. It was good. I really liked it. I think there's a bunch in this series because like I think there's this series and then maybe like an adjacent one. And I know Carissa Broadbent really loves this world that she's created. It's pretty interesting. I feel like I'm waiting for the second one to like understand more because again, this was like an isolated story where you get some small perspective, and it's like because the first narrator that you meet is the female character who's a human, and everyone else, not everyone, but like a lot of the other characters are vampires who understand I think the political climate more because she was super sheltered, and also understand like the timeline, the longevity of some of these conflicts. Like I'm kind of hoping that there's more of Rain's perspective in the second one, so you kind of like understand more about what's going on. Okay, now the last book I read was called Funny Feelings. It is a standalone modern romance by Tarah DeWitt. Go read this. If you like comedy, if you like stand-up comedy, like go read this. It's so heartfelt. It's so cute. I love it. So it's a stand-up comedian. And it's her struggle like to make it, but also her struggle to not fall in love with her manager, which like he's very clear from the beginning like who her person is going to be. And there's so many complicated feelings and ideas in this, and it was just really like adorable. Really adorable. I very much enjoyed it. I read it really, really fast. That's a lot of books. That's 5 books finished this week. Woo. One that I had just, was limping along for that Kindle read. And then I did also get a couple hours in of the Crown of Shadows, which is the 7th in the Wheel of Time. Oh, sorry, A Crown of Swords. I've probably been calling it the wrong thing for the last 2 weeks, which is the 7th in the Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. And so this is my halfway point. Like I really need to finish this and then I'm halfway done. I don't know in like number of pages, but halfway in the series. And so I am going to keep trucking through. So what else do we have to talk about? The knit along. So knit along happens tomorrow. If you have not joined our Discord, please do. By our, I mean it's yours. It's a community thing. Please join the Discord. The link will be at the top of the description section. You can join. There's like an intro. There's not a lot of channels right now because I'm not really sure like how much we want this to grow, but mostly there's like an intro, and then there's going to be a like just knit along thing. So if we use this for other things, then we don't just have one general chat channel. So for the knit along, like I'll post first, or whoever wants to post their wound yarn, their cast on, their whatever. Cast on's day is tomorrow. You can obviously cast on whenever you want. This goes all the way until flock. The end date is, Friday before flock, I guess. Like that's hopefully you're done then so you can wear it on Saturday. But we'll like do some planning if we want to take a picture together, what day we want to do that, and where we'll meet up. All that kind of stuff will happen in the Discord. You don't have to join the Discord to join along. I still don't have a hashtag. I mean, I will publish it in the Discord. Maybe I'll put it down below or flash it on the screen today when I actually think about what I want it to be. But I definitely want something fun. So you can put your pictures on Instagram, and I will be making the stripy turtle tank. I will show you my yarn really fast. I did not wind it yet, but I will do that today. It will be this, which is linen. It's actually going to look pretty similar to this, like accidentally, because honestly, I made this after I had already bought this yarn. So this and This and this. So this is the, maybe like the neutral palette or the moody neutrals. I'm not sure, from Explore Knits Summer Market last year. So I knew I wanted to make this, and honestly, I was like planning to cast it on last year and just didn't get around to it. So this is Linen by Explore Knits and Fibers, and this is the color palette that will go with it from the minis. There is a linen here too. I think for my size, if I wanted to like add an inch, I needed like this mini also. So I thought that was kind of perfect. Yeah, so I will be winding all these little baby cuties up and this up tonight. So I am ready to cast on tomorrow. I did get these all because this palette is Denali sock. So this is also Denali sock, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards, 400 grams. And I don't know what size I'm going to make, but like probably whatever is like the closest to my best. I don't really want any extra room in this. And I might actually give myself a couple of like a little bit of bust shaping and do a couple of decreases on the side of this so that I have something that's like close fitting, but not negative ease or not a lot of negative ease. I'm not sure. I have to look again. And I'm really excited for that. So, oh, the other thing I did bring down, because I decided for my Market Henley, there is somebody else in the test knit who, right as I was posting what I was going to put, also put her color palette up, which is also Flock. And then she did her swatch before I did mine, and I was like, yep, that is actually going to be perfect. Like, it's not too busy. It is busy. It's definitely, there's going to be mostly tonals happening during this test knit, but I think that's nice to have a couple of people do it in a kind of busy variegated so you can see what it looks like. It's not going to be stripy because of the way that these are variegated, which is one of the things I love about Allie's variegation. But I have two beautiful little cakes of this. It looks, when I was holding the skeins, I felt like they looked very orange. Inside of the cakes like this, though, I think they look a lot like gray or gray bluey-er, which is nice. There's all of the colors from the Seattle collection are in here. So you've got Puget Sound and Squim, which is like a light, which I have purple gray. Puget Sound is blue. There's like all that blue in there. The dark greeny gray is Snoqualmie. Then Rain Shadow, which is a light kind of silvery gray blue. And then you've got Pike Place, which is the deep orange. And yeah, I mean, it's really pretty. It's going to be really nice. And I'm going to use my Pas de Deux pirouette for this, just to help myself manage it. I think that's a good thing for me to just start on there at least. Yeah, so a lot of things to finish up this week. I'm going to do my best to really truck through as much, if not almost all, of the test knit for Wool and Pine. So I'm done. You know, I want to make sure I have enough time for it to block, dry, take pictures, etc., all before the 17th. So that gives me pretty much next week to finish, or at least mostly finish, and then button or waistband, at least start it, because that's a really fun waistband. You're doing ribbing sideways, and that's also your cast off. So it's really nice because you don't have to pick up stitches, etc. And it's not an I-cord, but it's going to take a lot longer than the I-cord. Then I will likely finish my my wood anemone. So that's two things nearly off the needles. I want to finish the yoke of my sundial, and then I'm going to work on do pretty good work on the flower blanket this week. I just need to give myself like a little extra time to like sit down, rearrange the flowers a little bit, and figure out exactly the final number I need. That is my plan, and I'm sticking to it. So I hope everybody has a really great weekend. We are really heading into summer here, so I would love to know, you know, either from my video that I put out of tank tops, or, you know, just other things, like what is the summer top that you're most excited for? Did you already cast it on? Are you like excited for it? And please don't forget, if you'd like to join our knit along, it's gonna be super casual, right? Like, this is just people are knitting it together, so we can like take a picture at Flock, or you can just post a picture and we're gonna Photoshop you in there. I'm just kidding. Just, you know, just a fun community way to knit. It's, again, any of the Emily Curtis summer patterns, which is the slanty slanty stripes, which is a V-neck, like boxier tank top, the stripy turtle tank, which is a more fitted striped tank top, and the color tip tee, which is, you can do tipless, like all one color, or you could do your finishing edges, pocket, no pocket, in a contrasting color or colors. All of these are great ways to use minis and scraps, which is another thing that I really want to get through, some of my minis and other things I have in my stash. So please join us, and yeah, let me know the summer things that you're working on and keep the conversation going below. I hope if anyone buys anything from Carrie, like, again, no pressure or anything, it's just a coupon for you. I don't get anything from this, but let me know if there's anything, you know, that you really love from her shop. And she's, yeah, super great, super nice person, and I feel very thankful that she gifted me those things so I could share them with you, and I hope that you find a new tool that you absolutely love. I will chat with all of you soon. Have a great day. Bye.